G'day and welcome to another video with Better Picks. Hope this finds you all well. Today's video is a very quick one looking at Adobe Premiere Pro and how to fade between sounds. So if you've got two separate clips, in this instance we've got a clip of the beach, so quite a bit of ocean sound there. And we've also got a clip of the rainforest. And obviously a waterfall as well, so quite a bit of sound there as well. Now there are similarities in the sound, but these clips are what we'll be using for demonstration today. Alright, so just swapping our layout over a little bit so we've got access to our effects. And what we want to have a look at is audio transitions. So you can see that there's three options there: constant gain, constant power, and exponential fade. So if we have a look quickly on how to apply those transitions to the join where these two clips are connecting, all we need to do is click and drag that transition down onto the join of the two clips. And if we zoom in, you can see that we have that transition across the two clips. You can adjust the amount of time or the number of frames, which you can see just in that little pop-up box there, for how long or how abrupt that transition will be. And that will obviously help to smooth things out a little bit. So as I mentioned, there's three types of transitions that are available with Premiere Pro. With constant gain, it's basically a quick fade in and fade out. So I use this one most often for between two clips in the way that I've used it for this particular demonstration. And that just allows the two clips to kind of fade in and out very quickly, as the name suggests. And I find that it works really well for not having that abrupt change in sound. Now, the constant power, the second option, that's an even dissolve between the two tracks. And that means that you're just going to have that blending of the two sounds without any drop in volume at all. Now, exponential fade, as the name alludes to, is just a fade out to absolutely nothing. And generally that one I use on the end of clips. And what I find is that it allows for you to have a very soft fade out at the end. Again, you've got that default length, but you can make it longer or shorter. And that just allows you to decide exactly how long you want that fade out to happen. Now you can set the default time for how long those transitions are when you drop them into your clips. Where this is particularly handy is if you need to apply a large number of transitions and they're likely to all be the same length or roughly the same length. So rather than applying the transition and then having to manually adjust it, if you head up to Edit and Preferences and down to Timeline, you can see that you have the option there for your audio transition default duration. So this particular project is 25 frames a second, and you can see the default duration is 25 frames. So that transition will happen over one linear second. So I hope that makes sense. But that's a way that if you want to, you can extend the transition to be longer, or obviously shrink it up and make it shorter as well. You can also set between frames or seconds if you would prefer to work in seconds. Obviously, if we change it to seconds, you can see there that it is in fact 1 second. All right, so that's how you change the default length of those audio transitions. If we delete that exponential fade, you'll also notice with the current version of Premiere, if you hover over the end of a clip, and you'll see a little tab there up here, and you can actually drag and pull that in, and that's a fade out, so very similar to exponential fade. So that's now built into the current version of Premiere, and that means that you are able to just work a little bit quicker by not having to apply a specific fade at the end or the beginning of your clips. And that is a really helpful tool, something that I'm using more and more as I get used to it being there, so which is a really good thing. Alright, so let's have a look at what the results would actually be. So if we just play this clip now, we can see that it's quite an abrupt, when it gets to that join between the two clips, it's quite an abrupt change in the sound of the sound, for want of better words. Alright, so if we're going to apply that constant gain to that join, and we're just going to spread it out a little bit, there we go. When we play it, we can definitely hear a difference. So you can see that smooth transition now with that audio. There isn't that stepped change in the sound of the audio. Really handy tools and something that I use on absolutely every project. Let's go to the end of this audio clip and let's put an exponential fade in there so we can just hear how it sounds at the end. I'm just going to extend it so that it's really quite obvious. Here we go. All right, so we can see as we play through on that clip that audio fades out really nicely. Perfect. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope it's been helpful. As always, any questions are welcome in the comments below. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.